Derby County are heading towards a turbulent summer transfer window as investment doesn't seem to be any closer. But is there anything going on behind the scenes? Now, obviously, we're heading ever closer to the fans forum at Derby County, of which I believe we will potentially hear some news. I don't necessarily think it'll be an exclusive. I just think it'll be in regards to that of we're still in talks, discussions are ongoing type of thing, as you all know and love. Now, obviously, over the course of the last 12 to 18 months, I've discussed investment and takeovers and things like that on this channel an abundance of times, because with every little rumour and every little bit of news that comes out, I think it's really important to put forward the opinion in case of what could potentially happen. Now, obviously, over the course of the last few weeks, we've discussed Blank and Andy Appleby, and we're going to discuss them a little bit more in this video as well. We're also going to discuss David Clowes' role in any potential takeover and investment and how he may be potentially hindering a deal being done. Now, obviously, in this video, we're going to take a look at what's next. We're going to take a look at when we will get news and will it eventually happen. And obviously, all the answers to those questions are speculation at the moment. But shall we get right into it? Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, we spoke about Arthur Blank in a video popping up on screen here right now just a few weeks ago, and Arthur Blank looks to be a brilliant candidate to take over at Derby County with former knowledge of working in sport and owning clubs. I think he would be a brilliant candidate. He's also worth a fuck ton of money as well, which ultimately is very, very helpful when it comes to these sorts of discussions. But do I believe that having a lot of money and being in the right places before means that you are the right person? I absolutely don't. And I do believe that if you look at someone like David Clowes, like the conversation he's going to be having behind the scenes with any potential buyers and any potential investors is about making sure that they do the right things for Derby County, and Derby County don't get left in a position that they were in 4 or 5 years ago under that of Mel Morris. And obviously that is the most important thing for Derby County moving forward. Now, obviously, when it comes to Arthur Blank, obviously coming towards the back end of his life in the nicest way possible. He's in his 80s, and I do believe that his son currently runs his other sporting operations, but Arthur Blank was massively important in those roles earlier on in his life. And I believe that having those people around you who sort of know what they're doing and have worked in sports before is absolutely massively important. And I think for Derby County this season, what we need, obviously, is that financial backing. It's not necessarily having the right people in the right places. It's making sure that Derby County have the budget for John Eustace to be able to put a squad together. Now, obviously, you will have noticed last week I made a video on Andy Appleby. That'll pop up on screen now. If you didn't, make sure you go ahead and check that one out, because he's made it clear that he'd be happy to invest in Derby County with a group put together by his General Sports, is it called General Sports Worldwide or General Sports Management, something like that, that he's involved in with all the people that are trying to get involved in football, especially English football as well. And I'm not saying that Andy Appleby's the right candidate. I'm not going to say he's the wrong candidate. We know what he's done at Derby County before, and there's a lot of personal opinions and feelings that come along with that. We also know that he doesn't necessarily have the greatest track record, but he helped Derby County into that sort of next stratosphere when it came to the Championship, obviously being involved in the appointment of Steve McLaren and then involved in getting Derby County to a playoff final. And I think he ended up leaving when Mel Morris fully took over in a season where Derby County should have got promoted, if I remember correctly. And that's obviously something which needs to be discussed, because he's got the know-how of English football, whereas someone like Arthur Blank doesn't. Someone like David Clowes really doesn't have that know-how either, although David Clowes now has, 3 years experience working in English football now, and I know he's not necessarily doing the job himself, he's got people below him, but there are obviously things which need to be discussed. Now, obviously then when we discuss David Clowes and his sort of ownership, I don't want people to think that I'm sort of vilifying him here or sort of putting a downer on him, but it's very much a case of he's got sort of a set of things that he wants said new owner to stand by, and that's completely okay. I've got no problem with it because as Derby County's owner, I think he's done a brilliant job. I think some decisions he could have made maybe a little bit earlier, but we go on with it and we keep moving. But he's funded Derby County for this upcoming season and the season after. We have a 5-year plan from when he took over, which I believe was it 2022 when we got relegated down to League One. Was it 22? Yeah, it was 22. And obviously he has a 5-year plan, a 5-year budget in place. So Derby County aren't in any rush to get this to happen, in my opinion. And David Clowes can wait it out and give the opportunity for any potential buyer to come forward and sort of open up that door of giving him that chairman status, whether it be in a controlling role or in a sort of background role, letting him keep 20%. Because if we go back to last year, around September time, he stated that he'd be willing to sell up to 80% of the club and maybe even a full takeover should the right offer, the right person come forward, which I think is obviously massive. It's got to be the right person, it's got to be the right sort of group, and that's the only way that they're going to be able to that's the only way that David Clowes is going to be happy to let it go. But he wants to keep that sort of stake so that if something was to happen in the future, he can he already knows the circumstance, he can already help himself with that circumstance. And there's obviously a lot as Derby County owner that he's done and learned, and he'll have had that insight now, which I think is massively important, because when you get that insight, you sort of don't want to lose it. Now, I've personally, not obviously in an ownership status, but once I'd been at Derby County and I knew sort of the things that you find out and the things that you learn on a day-to-day basis, it really does sort of change your concept of how football works and things like that. It's why I get in a lot of drama and beef on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and it's why for the most part a lot of people don't always agree with me. It's because I've seen how it is behind the scenes. I know how hard people are working, and I know how difficult working in football can be, because it's not necessarily a great deal of money, it's not necessarily sort of the greatest working hours in regards to that sort of thing, but what you do get is first-hand experience with professional footballers. You get especially if you're working in the first team, like, it can be sort of ridiculous for those people how busy they are, away trips and things like that. I remember we played Plymouth on a Tuesday night, and the away analysts, I have no idea sort of how they sort of worked it out, but if they travelled down on the day or travelled back on the day, like, they wouldn't have got home till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's just one of those circumstances. Now, obviously, in regards to takeover, in regards to investment, what is going to happen next, and what is next for Derby County? Now, obviously, before we get any sort of takeover agreement or anything go through, I believe that there has to be a period of exclusivity to whoever said buyer group is, which obviously gives them the opportunity to go through the EFL test and all of that jazz to get themselves as a part of Derby County. Now, do we have to know about that? No. There is no reason for us as fans to be given that sort of information, although it is always nice and is always important that the clubs try and keep you updated. They don't have to. There's no legal requirement. There's no... and it's just like transfers right now. Like, they can have things signed and sealed. They don't have to announce it within the month of June. They don't have to announce anything. Like, players could come into pre-season that Derby County have signed. It doesn't have to be announced. We don't have to know about it. And that's what a lot of people seem to sort of misunderstand in regards of, like, transfers and things like that, because the important thing is you've just got to get the deals done. You announce it later down, like, get the deals done. And there's no point announcing deals or signing players, really, for me, until pre-season. Like, pre-season starts in, maybe 2 weeks, max 3 weeks. And so long as deals are over the line then, we've got no problem, in my opinion. Now, when will we get news in regards to takeovers, transfers, investment? In regards to takeovers and investment, I think we'll probably hear something at the fans forum. People may agree, people may disagree, but I personally think it'll be a question that's asked. Now, will it happen? I don't know. In regards to takeovers, transfers, anything, I don't know if it will happen, if it won't happen, but obviously it's really important that it does happen, because Derby County obviously need that sort of extra bit of cash, they need the extra bit of willing, and that's obviously really important in sort of moving forward towards the next stage of Derby County's rebuild under that of David Clowes. It's having that extra bit of cash, because we're not going to get a cash influx this year from regards of sell-on fees. Like, no one is buying Cade Gordon for 20 million like someone bought Amari Kellyman for last year. We might get a little bit of cash from Liam Delap to Chelsea, but that all depends on if Man City bought out the clause from the last transfer. So it is going to be interesting to see what is going to happen next and how this sort of transfer window and everything unfolds at Derby County, because ultimately we've got no idea what's going to happen. And that's the interesting thing about football, and that's the interesting thing, and that's why we all love it. It's that we don't have a set guaranteed, we're going to get information on this day, we're going to get this on this day. Anything can happen and anything can change. Now, obviously, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you have not done so already, make sure you check out the raffle, because there's a lot of people getting involved, and I'm obviously hoping to do this in the future as well. It does obviously support the channel. It obviously then gives me the opportunity to give more back to you guys in the future. So if you haven't done so already, check that out. It'll be the first link in the description, I think it is. So yeah, I'll catch you in my next video. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.